Three, two, one, and we're live.
Bingo. We are here. Hey, everybody.
That was good. I actually guessed the timing on that, and I think I got it right this time.
Let's hope so. We'll find out when we watch the playback.
And I think the chat's working because we have somebody in our chat.
God, I hope the chat's working this week. We're kind of reliant on the chat this week, so let's hope.
If not, it's going to be us, Bravari, and good times.
Hey, speaking of which, what are you drinking tonight? Which fine Bravari bottle are you drinking out of?
So I am drinking my preferred Bravari, actually called Balvenie.
Ooh.
Yes, it's a Highland. Fancy. It's a Highland malt. It is. Well, I'll show you this.
Please. I love looking at alcohol labels. Oh yeah, that's nice.
It's very it's very understated, but that's kind of like classic. The way they are. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be much. That's the mark of a good brand of liquor.
Yeah. We aren't sponsored by Balvenie, by the way, but I am still drinking it.
Nor are we sponsored by vodka, which is what I'm drinking tonight with some pomegranate schnapps and some 7-Up. And the comments are working. I see comments. Hey, guys.
So let's see. Maurizio Mora. I think I got that right.
Hello. Welcome. Hello, Daniel. Hello, Earl Green. Nice name.
Earl. I'm glad that Earl's here. Earl is not only a huge Babylon 5 fan, but Earl is the editor for Mission Log, a Star Trek Roddenberry podcast.
Well done. Welcome.
Mm-hmm. And we know Daniel. Daniel has been on before. And Maurizio, I think you are new to our show. But anyway, welcome.
And drinking
welcome.
beer. So this is a very atypical show for us. We don't necessarily have a topic lined up, and normally we would, but we've been sick. You and I both. We've taken turns. So we're back after a couple weeks absence. And no, it was not the Marcab plague, thank goodness. But yeah, we had to get our voices back, and now we're back, and we're all quarantined now. So this is just a chance to kind of reconnect, say, hey, how's everything going for you? How are you doing with all the chaos that's happening around us? And we'll throw in some B5 references here and there as the need calls.
Yeah, I'm excited because, first of all, it's good to be back on the air with you, Shar. You're right. We have been on the ill side, the last couple of weeks, and not the COVID-19. I suffer from seasonal allergies fairly badly, and
that's happening right now.
Yeah, so it was a kind of combination of seasonal allergies, and I don't know if I told you this, Shar, but I brought the buns in for bonding.
Because, you did tell me. Yeah, so no bunnies this week.
No, they're back. They're back because the Bunny Rabbit Wrench Rescue, they also had to scale down their operations to only the essential personnel. So they said, you got to pick up your buns, which for me, since I'm locked in here anyway, I am thrilled to no end because my buns are back.
Hey, and how are they doing?
They're good. They're good. Awesome. There was an emotional breakthrough the last couple days with Buffy, and maybe it's because she was housed at the facility, but I actually am now nose to nose snuggling her, where that she never let that happen before.
Oh, snuggles!
It's the greatest
snuggles.
thing ever. Yeah,
snuggles are everything right now. I can't tell you how many times I've just taken a break and cuddled the cats for 15 minutes and enjoyed the heck out of it and not felt bad about it.
Now, our friend Earl Green here, he's no stranger to cats. If you follow him on Facebook, as I do, he has 5 or 6 basically weighing him down like sandbags on his bed.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and they're gorgeous. They're also kind of like hand warmers and lap warmers and neck warmers to him too.
Yes, and feet warmers.
Wherever they want to go,
one of my cats is really good about sleeping on my feet as I settle in for the night, and that's very good because my feet can get cold, and I can't fall asleep if my feet are cold.
It's Roe, isn't it?
No, it's Lafayette. You know where Roe sits? Or he lays right next to me. He wants to be my little spoony buddy.
Okay.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Char's 2 cat boyos, Lafayette and Rochambeau.
Yes, the French guys from the Revolutionary War.
So as you see, Mauricio's here from Mission Log. BC's also from Mission Log. I tried to poach a couple of our listeners from this morning's show, so they could probably tell from my background I haven't changed really anything. I haven't changed my clothes. And you know what?
It worked.
to make light of this tragic situation, because all we can really do is find humor in things that are tragic to keep ourselves sane.
That's right. If we don't laugh, we cry.
This is going on like a week plus one of terrible, right?
Only a week. You know what? I'm more than overdue. Like, you can't really see too much, but there's a nice little streak of gray happening right there. I was delaying, getting my hair done. I desperately need a cut, and who knows when that's going to happen now. So
right.
I'm going to have hair down to my knees before it happens, I think. So
how long are we locked down for here in Southern California, or for you, Northern Southern California?
We're all kind of quarantined until further notice. There isn't an end date at the moment.
What about all you all out there from where you are? Are you locked down? Are you quarantined? Ohio, because I have family in Ohio, or had, they said that they've been watching the news, and the entire state has been basically ordered for a stay home,
so they are now
situation.
Too.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's California, Ohio, New Jersey, New York, I think Pennsylvania also. What am I missing? Anybody?
I'm sure there are going to be more as time goes on.
I mean, aside from Italy and China.
Right.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks' time, I was supposed to take that big trip over to Austria and Prague, but that was, and I told my mom, I go, Mom, it's like you may as well accept this. And this was like 2 weeks ago, and I said they're going to cancel our trip. It's like, no, they're not going to cancel our trip. I'm like, Mom, they're going to cancel our trip.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Things have changed so rapidly, going from, oh, this isn't that big of a deal, right? To, yes, it's a big deal, to, holy crap, this is getting really bad, to, we are now quarantined and good golly, brace for impact.
Yeah. Yeah. What did you want to think that you needed to prepare for the most for this quarantine? And like, when you looked around the house, like, do I need to stock up on food, water, medical supplies, cat food?
You know what? I didn't panic buy anything, because I never once worried that the supply chain was going to slow down. That wasn't in danger. That wasn't in question. And so with everybody panic buying, I just kind of shook my head. Like, guys, stop. Leave some for other people. We're going to be okay. I understand some people want to stock up so that they don't have to leave for a couple of weeks, but that's not everybody. And I went, and we did go out and we did do grocery shopping yesterday. There's still barren shelves, in stores all over the place. And I mean, kind of a sad reflection of humanity. At the end of it, we're just a bunch of scared animals.
One of the things that I wanted to kind of like throw this back to is, how on Babylon 5 they've handled this kind of plague, like something like bigger than the Marquette plague, as we mentioned before. But before we get into that, so Shar and I are going to talk this entire time, but we really wanted to create this particular chat format for all of you that have tuned in to ask us questions or to post things that you would like to talk about. It doesn't necessarily have to be Babylon 5 related. It could be fandom related. It can be current events related, although we'd probably like to stay away from like the political stuff, because, we want to
let's not. That's just going to create arguments.
Yeah. So BC, we were talking, he was saying that Florida's getting bad with the spring break crowd. And I don't know about you, Shar, but did you ever do the spring break thing, like travel to some destination, party ridiculous, and,
You might think I would, but no, I never have. Have you?
I did. Well, that's when I was in upstate New York. So I went to college in upstate New York. And then we would like take, like 4 or 5 of us who would like throw ourselves in my friend's Subaru Forester, and with a couple cases of beer, and we would drive through the night all the way from, upstate New York to Daytona Beach or Panama City, wherever like the big party was at the time.
Sure.
And then we would just literally, like, I don't remember going down. I don't remember coming back, because it was just drink.
As you do on spring break.
Exactly. But when you're on spring break and you just kind of let all your inhibitions just into the winds, and you don't really care. And I don't think that some of these people are uncaring. It's just that when they're there, they're just like, what am I going to do? It's like, if it's going to be the end of the world, I might as well party. So there's this kind of like this extremist way of thinking about it. But by the time they get back, you don't know what's going to happen. They could all be just time bombing, wherever they're going back to.
You could come back home, and it could be like in the end of the B5 episode where the Marquette plague did take everybody. I mean, it could just be complete devastation for all you know.
Right.
And like in a way, I kind of understand that mindset where, hey, like if we're all gonna die, let's go out happy. But at the same time, the lack of social responsibility and thought for the greater good really pisses me off.
Who do you think?
It's so selfish.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like you take like the analog of the Titanic, right? You know, 9 times, and remember, these people are supposed to have been the most civilized, refined, wealthy, elitist people in known society.
Right.
That's why they were on the Titanic. But when you really came down to it, though, a lot of these people were just trying to find that door that they could flip over, and survive on.
Exactly. Everybody kind of devolved into stupid, selfish bastards. I'm sorry, there's no nice way to say it.
Well, I agree, and I've never been thrown into a situation where I had to survive like that.
That's a good point, because that's what it ultimately boils down to, right? Is survival. Yeah. And you got to look out for number one because no one else might be doing that for you.
But it's okay to, after you look at number one, it's okay to look out for number two.
Would that not be nice? And there isn't enough of that going around.
Yeah, there's
now that said, though, there is some, which is nice.
There's something on my feed that I saw where I think it was like this kid, and he was standing in line at Costco, and some lady asked him for one of his loaves of bread that he had. He had like one or two, and he says, "Ma'am's like, if I have anything to spare that's extra, you can take anything out of my cart."
Wow.
Right.
Cool.
Why don't we hear more of those kind of stories? Because they're out there. Right. I have to believe that they are.
They are. Right. And there are people out there helping. And my heart goes out to the people who are on the front lines, the people working in overrun hospitals, just working insanely long shifts, probably reaching their mental and physical breaking points already. And I can't even imagine. I'm so sorry. The people keeping the food supply going, stocking the shelves, ringing us up, people delivering, all of it. Putting themselves in harm's way for everybody else's sake.
Jessica's back. Hi, Jessica. We haven't seen you.
Hello.
Well, we haven't been on either.
Send TP.
Who would have thought, right?
Because you can't get any in the store, right?
Yeah.
Damn orders.
Who would have thought? Now I actually think that like toilet paper over paper towels would have been more important, because you can like get towels and use them as paper towels and wash them and recycle them and stuff like that. Probably not the best idea with like, your clothing or your face towels and stuff like that to use them as bathroom wash rags in a way.
Nah.
But I thought that because Carol went out to the groceries today, she needed to get a couple things. And she said, there weren't any supplies left, but there were like a bunch of like microfiber towels and things of that nature. I'm like, why wouldn't people use those?
I don't know. Right? There is not a whole lot of logic with a lot of these things. Hey, Sabriel Maston is here. That's a friend of mine. Hello.
Oh, hello. Welcome.
We got a few new people today. That's awesome.
So here's a question, Babylon 5 related, and we can like tie it into what we're talking about. Who do you think would have handled this crisis better on the station, Sheridan or Sinclair?
Ooh.
And why?
Tough. Yeah. Super tough.
And this goes out to all of you people that are listening as well.
Boy, I gotta think for a second, because they both would do well. They're both good under pressure. I feel like Sinclair would take more of a personal toll on him, if that makes any sense. Whereas I feel like Sheridan and Delenn could probably talk it out a little more amongst each other.
So you're saying that because Sheridan has Delenn, it would be a little bit easier on him.
They can share the burden.
Right.
Whereas Sinclair, Catherine Sakai is off who knows where most of the time. It's all on his shoulders.
You're right. Sinclair didn't really have anyone to lean on. Well, he leaned on Ivanova a lot.
He did, and maybe the next closest thing would be Garibaldi, but I don't feel like he would be strategizing necessarily in the same way that Sheridan and Delenn would be strategizing with each other. I mean, he would just be... Maybe he and Garibaldi would have a short conversation at Earhart's or something, like, hey, how you holding up? You all right? And Sinclair is not going to put that on Garibaldi. So he's going to give him kind of like, yeah, I'm all right. But then he's going to walk to his quarters and just collapse on the bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that because because Sinclair didn't have his Delenn, and we didn't get a chance to see if Catherine Sakai was going to be that for him or for each other. I always thought that it was Sinclair was always better at kind of being the tide that raised all boats, right? Because when during was it the labor strike?
Oh, by any means necessary.
By any means necessary. He pulled all these different resources. He kind of played all these different cards to get everyone kind of on the same page, you know,
yes.
and got all the negotiations working the way that they needed to work within the rules. Because, you know, if they didn't enact the Rush Act, then they wouldn't be able to declare emergency powers to get emergency funding to pay the dock workers. So
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know what? It might also be a little bit of a situational thing. Whereas I feel like Sinclair's really good at finding those loopholes that you're talking about to make things happen. Whereas Sheridan is a very good organizer of people and motivating them to take action.
Right. Earl Green says they both had Delenn being kind of the little angel on their shoulder. So I'd take either Sinclair or Sheridan in this scenario versus, say, Lockley, not knocking Lockley. But you're right. It's Sinclair had Delenn more of as an advisor, you know, from a sounding board point of view. But I think that Sheridan eventually had Delenn as more of a partner.
Sheridan was much more, or Sheridan was a confidant with Delenn and vice versa. Whereas the relationship with Sinclair and Delenn was very different.
Could you
now, it could have been effective, but very different.
Could you imagine if Sinclair and Delenn had the fasten then zip conversation?
No, I think Delenn would have been a little weirded out by that.
You know, because like Sheridan had the socks thing, you know, he goes, I'm always going to come back because I always got socks to wash.
Right. I think that was about enough for her at that point. I mean, cartoons and popcorn were also kind of, to her. So fasten zip, would she even know what a zipper is? I don't know if they have those on Minbar.
That would have been interesting, though, conversations. Like, so what were you two talking about today? Oh, you know. So BC says Sheridan can make the tough calls like sacrificing Bryan Cranston. We're talking.
This is so true.
Ranger Erickson. Yeah.
Yes. Oh God, I love Bryan Cranston in this very short but memorable role.
Yeah, he had the team and the people at his disposal, literally, to make the hard call.
Yeah,
and I think that's probably goes part and parcel with being a commander of a ship, because Sinclair wasn't a commander of a ship. You know, he was a pilot before he was a commander. But I think that Sheridan did lose people along the way. You know, when he was exploring deep space, and I mean, obviously he did in the beginning. You know, when he was de facto captain after his captain died on the on that cruiser that he was on. Right.
No, it's true. Again, it kind of just. I feel like Sinclair's really good with the bureaucratic end of things. Not that he can't manage people. He's decent. But Sheridan has, for lack of a better term, kind of that cult of personality. He's got that magnetism that people are drawn to him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Garibaldi, even though in season 4 you really want to punch him in the face, he wasn't completely wrong about that whole thing.
Well, let's talk about it a little bit. Let's talk about where you are with your show, Babel for Five.
Oh, well, it's funny you mentioned that because we're at a really good point. And for those of you who do not know, I do another Babylon 5 show with my husband, Patrick, who's watching Babylon 5 for the very first time. We're coming to the end of season 4. We watched the episodes Face of the Enemy and Intersections in Real Time today. And if you know anything about those episodes, you're going, F yeah, right? That's the one where Garibaldi gives Sheridan the trank, gets him incarcerated, and then the interrogation that follows. Powerful stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do, my husband and I will watch the episode. We record about 15, maybe 20 minutes of footage, condense it down to 5 minutes, and call it Babel for 5. And then we release an episode every week. I don't know how we're going to condense these down because there's so much stuff. But, oh gosh, this is such an exciting time just because of how explosive this writing is. It's so good.
I forget just how good it is.
Right? Yes. Oh my gosh. And it was so much for him to take in. Like, we just had to have kind of a quick moment of recap of what happened where. There's just so many moving pieces tying together. It was a lot for him to take in one take, if you will.
And in this era or in this season of Babylon 5, we're coming to that whole point of kind of like the powers that be, fighting the good fight and making sure that there's one person that continues that fight. There was I was telling you about this conversation that I was having on Mission Log. Since we have Mission Log listeners here, you might be able to chime in on this too, where one of the listeners called in and said that, for all intents and purposes, Captain Picard has pretty much lost all of the major battles that he has fought. When he fought for Data's sentience and Measure of a Man, when he fought, for certain things to happen that for the Romulan, what do you want to call it, exodus to happen, the Federation didn't really back his play there. But it's not necessarily, and my stance was, it wasn't necessarily that Picard lost those battles. He won his battles. He won his battle to do what he needed to do, to say what he needed to say, and to try and inform or try and at least get policy changed. And if policy didn't change, it's not because he lost. It's just because the people that are going to take that torch, they're not really going to go any further with that. But it's kind of like I mentioned this, that in Babylon 5, this particular episode, Intersections in Real Time, really punctuates that, because Sheridan says that, how was he supposed to fight the system? How are we supposed to fight the system? Every time he says no.
Every time we say no.
Right. That's how you fight the system. Whether it's one today or whether it's one 10 years from today, every time you say no, inspire somebody else to say no, and inspire somebody else to say no, until you have enough voices of resistance to make, in effect, change. And that's what Picard is doing. He's basically saying, like, okay, I may have lost this, but I'm going to fight again, and I'm going to fight again. And in that way, he's inspiring all those people that were naysayers to his cause. Rios didn't really believe in his cause. Raffi didn't even really believe in his cause anymore. But they are
she
now.
Was pretty disenchanted. Yeah, you're right. And just through having kind of that core belief, believing in himself, believing that what he was doing was right. And like you said, every time I say no, bucking the system, you get that chain reaction of people coming on board. And that's how the system loses, is when you're so committed that you're willing to die for it, which might sound extreme, but in Sheridan's case, it certainly is not. I mean, he certainly knew that was a possibility. And if he had to, he accepted that. Yeah. The system could never win, no matter what they did to him, for that reason alone.
And in a lot of cases, and this applies a lot to Babylon 5 as well, you can do everything right and still lose.
Very good Picard quote.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true. Life is not fair.
I read this really cool quote that John Lennon said. He said that life is what happens in the middle of planning, in the middle of making plans.
Oh, certainly. I mean, yeah, plans are great. It's good to have them to an extent, but when they fall through, you've got to improvise and think on your feet. Also,
a great quote to follow that up. Mark Twain said that golf is a way to ruin a perfectly good stroll.
Okay.
I just got to throw my disdain for golf in there.
Yeah, golf. Oh, don't get me started. I like George Carlin's stance on golf. Have you ever heard his stand-up specials?
I have, but not on golf.
Oh, well, okay. Go on YouTube sometime and just look up George Carlin golf. He's got a couple of pieces on how he feels about golf. That's pretty much my stance too. Do that sometime.
I will.
By the way, Norm, we never toasted.
I'm sorry, we didn't?
We talked about our brewery and we didn't toast.
We're
doing this show all wrong. We've got to start over.
Backwards and forwards and timey-wimey
the world
and
is upside
wibbly-wobbly.
Down right now.
That's right.
Okay,
but we're also
in
excited to get to talking to each other again, because we haven't done so in
It's so true. We're a little out of practice, so forgive us. And with that, to quarantine. Valtu!
Let's see. Earl Green.
Maybe hit up some comments, huh?
Earl Green said, Neil Flynn lyric, God is rolling numbers while you're making plans. I'm sure he had Len in the back of his head there.
There we go. Yeah, cool. Kind of the same idea. Yeah. Oh, somebody mentioned the audio guide to Babylon 5. That is a wonderful podcast that goes through every episode of Babylon 5 one by one. Mm-hmm. And they do a great format where the first part is spoiler free.
Yep.
It just talks about that episode in particular, and then they go into spoiler territory talking about how this episode relates to everything else. Superb.
They do the whole thing like now it's time to go through the jump gate. That's when they go into like non-spoiler territory. Yeah.
That's them. Uh-huh.
That was good stuff. I was thinking about maybe taking, the Zocalo to that type of format, maybe every once in a while, to take like a couple deep dives into episodes. Like watch an episode maybe in real time, like we were going to do with Sleeping in Light.
Oh, where we just ugly cry for an hour?
Yeah. But like,
yeah, we'll probably still do that, guys.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
When we're feeling really depressed in quarantine. Give us, I suspect it'll take maybe a few weeks and then we'll be ready for it.
Yeah, but it's going to happen.
Yeah, it will. Sure. It will.
And we also have coming up, we have great things to talk about. We also have season 4 Cedar Skip It and season 5 Cedar Skip It.
Am I get? Wait, no, we did season 4, didn't we?
Did we do season 4 already?
I'm pretty sure we did.
Oh, you're right. We did, because we got all the way down the deconstruction of Falling Stars. And that was like where I think we were both, it was like 18-4 on our season skips. Yeah.
Same as season 3, which was amazing because I was not expecting that whatsoever.
Earl says, let's wait for the tissue industry to recover. Oh, no.
You might be right there, Earl. Let's wait for the shelves to restock.
Now you see this? This wipes up tears also. My t-shirts.
We just have wet shirts.
Our t-shirts are the sum of our tears.
Oh my God. I gotta go do laundry now, Norm. I'll see you later.
Exactly. Right.
Oh my God. It's gonna be so ugly when we do that episode.
Well, maybe what we'll do is like we'll put a poll out there and like say pick 5 episodes that I think everyone would probably want to see done live, and then have our listeners pick that.
I like it. And then maybe depending on the episode, we maybe, I don't know, do we give it any sort of twist, like a drunk commentary? Do we do it sober? Do we have to, I don't know, watch it blindfolded? I don't know, some weird twists. I can think of things later.
Yeah.
I can't think of things right now. My brain has been, I don't know, it's already gone into laziness mode, in all honesty.
Laziness or relaxed?
Well, you know what? I'm not sure what the difference is right now. So you might be right.
I was talking about this to somebody at work, and we were, I'm in charge of a team, and I have to coordinate the production of my team when when we're here at home. But I said, you know what? Just because we're working from home doesn't necessarily mean you can't take advantage of the serenity of where you are. It's
totally. As you should too.
As you should.
Absolutely.
Like some people can't rush home and take care of one thing or another. But now you're working at home. You do your 8 to 5. You take your 2, legally scheduled 15-minute breaks as you need. Go out and take a walk. Go out and do whatever you need to do. Take care of personal stuff, and don't feel guilty about it, because you shouldn't.
No, absolutely. In fact, before I took the job I'm currently working, well, kind of, we'll see how that goes from here on out. But prior to that job, I worked from home. And you know what? It was great because I could take care of things around the house, like turn on the dishwasher, go about, do work, come downstairs, take a little break, empty it, start a load of laundry, just keep on top of things.
Right.
If I had to make an appointment, I didn't feel bad about taking like an hour to go out and do that. And I just make up for it later. It's kind of nice having that flexibility. So those of you who are working at home, I kind of envy you, because I don't have that luxury anymore.
And don't feel guilty about being able to make the most of your time. I mean, that's it's the best way to make the most of your time.
Absolutely. You'll be surprised at how efficient working from home is if you're disciplined.
Yeah. And when I'm at work, my computer's tied up when I'm printing large format graphics, because I can't walk away sometimes, or else, I'd have to restart it, or, I don't, for whatever reason, or if I'm I can't use my computer if it's chugging away on processing a really, really large graphic file.
Oh, so, sure. Yeah.
What do? I just sit there and just kind of do nothing. Well, in that 15 to 20 minute processing time, I can go out, I can take a walk, I can, fold my laundry.
It'll still be there.
Yeah. It's still processing. So it's just kind of you can do stuff. But my point is that don't feel that you're obliged to just think about and sit down and do nothing but work, when you can be so much more efficient for your own life. That will bring people so much more sanity to their lives.
Oh, by far and away.
to get
Yeah,
those
and you
honeydew
know
lists
what?
done.
Like, I do wonder when, excuse me, when this is all said and done, I wonder, is this going to be a massive shift in workplace culture? Are more people going to want to work from home? Or, like my husband, he's finding it hard to work from home and stay disciplined. He likes the change of environment because it helps him focus.
Sure.
And I can see that too, where
Yeah.
that's where you do your work, home is where you do home things. It's going to depend from person to person, but I do wonder overall, is this going to decrease traffic on the road? Are more people going to elect to stay home just because they've gotten used to it? That sort of thing.
I made it from my house to pick up my bunnies in Fountain Valley in about 15 minutes on the 405 South at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday.
Which is unheard of if
Yeah.
you don't know LA traffic. That would normally take you how long, Norm?
Probably about 35 to 40 minutes.
Yeah, so half the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a kind of a nice side effect of this whole thing. I hate to say, last week I was working up until Friday, and getting down to work took me, it normally takes me half an hour. I was doing it in about 20 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm
you're
like,
right.
this isn't so bad, but
It is.
it's also a sign of what's happening, right? More people staying home because they either have to or they want to,
Right.
or fewer trucks on the road too. A lot fewer trucks, which is hurting the ports here, which sucks.
Right.
Because it means goods aren't coming in.
You would think that though. No, here are certain things that I thought were interesting in terms of some of the work that people are picking up. If there aren't as many trucks on the road, there are a lot of people. There's a lot of clamor for Amazon, like local delivery drivers, because a lot of people are either using the service for either Amazon Fresh or just getting the Amazon packages rolling. There's also a huge influx of Domino's Pizza delivery drivers that they need.
Oh my gosh. I think honestly, of all the cars that I've seen on the road in the last couple of days, a lot of it's been delivery. And shout out to the people who are making deliveries and keeping people fed, supplied, what have you, in the midst of this crisis where they don't feel comfortable leaving their homes, but other people are for them.
Sure. And I'm a big tipper for those people. You know, it's like
heck yeah. Yeah. If you guys do get delivery, please express your appreciation. Give them a massive, fat, juicy tip if you can.
The weird thing is that I thought that a crisis like this, or me spending more time on screens at home, would make me like spend more money, like jumping on Amazon or just trying to get, just trying to stay sane with retail therapy, going on eBay and things of that nature. I've actually spent less because you just don't know, it's not like I got sent home just cause, it's like, oh no, just go home and you can work from home and blah, 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 no harm, no foul.
Are you worried about your job being cut?
No, not in that sense. It's just kind of like the uncertainty makes you like not want to spend like as much.
Oh, well, right. Like, what if you end up having to go to the hospital? That bill will bankrupt so many people.
Yeah, things of that nature. Or personally, I would rather spend more money on like buying like hay and food for my reps. If you're a pet owner, people,
yes,
right, Earl?
It's true.
You know that like I would rather not eat and have my rabbits be fed well.
Right. Just like parents with their human children, that you take care of them first. For those of us who have pets, we do the same exact thing.
Mauricio says, I hate working from home. The change of place helps me concentrate. And I know that's true for a lot of people.
Yep. Meanwhile, Earl has been working from home and now suddenly everybody's doing what he's doing. And I mean, there's that too, where it's like, hey, welcome. Here's some tips. I've seen a lot of that on Twitter.
But I encourage a lot of people that are also kind of they're comfortable being at home, and they're comfortable being sequestered away from a lot of the social aspects of life, just to make sure that you get out there, not necessarily go out and find a conversation, but go out and take a walk, go out and get some sunlight and some fresh air, get out of the house.
Yes,
take some time for your own personal health.
That's seriously important. Honestly, one of my favorite rituals right now is going outside and going for a walk. It's good exercise. It gets you that fresh air. You get some sunlight, get your vitamin D, guys.
Yep.
And you need to get out or you will go stir crazy.
Right. And that's like the one great, like when I'm at work, I'm usually obligated to go out to lunch with some of the higher ups. And now, and I rarely get to spend any time during the workday with Carol. So she and I agreed on the both of us are going to go out and take a walk, during our lunch break. And just spend time with each other like we never get to at work.
Yeah. No, that's very cool that you get to do that right now. Take advantage.
Sabriel says, I wish I could go for a walk comfortably. And we wish you do too.
That's because she's in Fargo, North Dakota, where it's probably still very cold, and therefore going a walk might be hazardous and also, maybe not the greatest thing. And I'm sorry, because I know Sabriel loves to go to the gym, and that's probably not an option right now.
You know, my sister, she's an instructor for, what is she doing? Some type of like super fitness aerobic something or other kickboxing thing. And she taught at the Y, and she used to have like some pretty big classes, but those have all been canceled. So she keeps sending me pictures of like her new like at home exercise equipment. And what she's doing right now is she's reviewing and re-preparing and preparing new exercise routines for her students, something that she never really had a chance to do because she was always obligated to teach what she knows, as opposed to now getting boned up on newer routines. And Les Mills pump, that's it. Les Mills combat pump.
Okay.
That's what it is. It's like a kickboxing class. And now she's like telling me like, oh, look at this new stuff I'm learning, and I can research my papers and I can make my classes better and things of that nature. It's a good it's a good opportunity now to take advantage of that stuff.
Yeah. Hey, that's a great use of the time too, to just take advantage of the things that you want to do that you just haven't made time to do. Now's the time.
Right. If I read at all, I probably would read more.
I know how bad you are at this, Norm.
I know. It's like, it's so funny when people are like, read a book that you've always wanted to read. I'm like,
Now, people who are long-term listeners of this vidcast know that what was it, a year ago?
Mm-hmm.
We were going to do a book club for the Babylon 5 novels. It never took off, guys. It didn't happen.
It was a New Year's resolution.
It was, and it fell through very quickly, as most New Year's resolutions do. But it was just kind of funny because, I mean, I know you tried. You really did, but it's just not your thing. Audiobooks forever.
Totally. And
when you don't feel like reading.
I'm envious as hell of people that like Carol, like you know, like anyone out there that can just pick up a book and just devour a book. I just don't.
I haven't done that in a while. Part of it is time.
Yeah.
I used to, though. Oh my gosh. When I was a teen,
right?
I remember when like every other week there would be a new Star Trek novel, and my mom would give me $5. That's all it cost to go down to Walden Books, which used to be a thing.
Yep.
The local bookstore, buy the newest Star Trek novel, and I would just read it in a whole weekend. And that's what I would do with it.
BC says, Becoming Superman is in my pile of like 30 books I need to read. Well, that's your first of 30.
Yeah, that should hit number 1. And honestly, if you don't have time to read, and if you have like a commute, if you're driving a lot, or if you just prefer audiobooks, Peter Jurasik reads the audio version of Becoming Superman, and it is fantastic. I think I listened to that thing about 5 times straight in my car going to and from work last summer when it was released. And man, so great.
Yep.
Oh my God, BC, Walden Books, just down the mall from B. Dalton. That was actually my mall's situation. On one side was Walden Books, and on the other was B. Dalton.
Oh, yeah.
Not kidding. Yes.
It was the Walden Books B. Dalton War.
And I was a Walden Books girl because I was a preferred reader. I had the card.
I loved Walden Books. Walden Books,
great.
You know, the Walden Books was kind of like, it was like the more serious of the two bookstores. Like they didn't have like notepads and pens and erasers and journals and all that stuff. I mean, Walden Books was just books and a very small section of like periodicals and magazines.
Books everywhere. And then they had a little stand of bookmarks at the front to entice you.
Exactly. And that was it, you know? And they had
and those people knew me by name. Oh my God.
Were all the Walden Books the same where their checkout stand was kind of like elevated so that they looked down at you like, what are you reading?
Yes, and they were silently judging everybody, which was harsh.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay, book nerd, I get it. You're better than me. Just help me buy my stuff. I'll get out of your way.
I always got like so supremely peeved when I would like thumb through like the 5 copies of like a collector's edition magazine that I wanted. And I found the mintest copy, like corners that you could like slice bread on.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the clerk was like, so any good? And it's just like, did you just crease my magazine? Did you honestly just crease my magazine?
No.
Yep. And it was like
How
the only
dare you?
It was the only uncreased one.
Rude.
Yeah. That just like that tore me up. That tore me up. I know. I'm so inattentive when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Hashtag bookstore problems.
But my dad, I remember one time, I have it here. I should take a photograph of it. But I have this Return of the Jedi special collector's edition magazine. And I had my mom drive to like 3 different stores, one of which was a Walden Books, one with like a B. Dalton. I think another one was like a local bookstore. And I thumbed, Earl, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, BC2. Like I'm thumbing through like all the magazines and I find the pristine one. And I said, okay, please. I asked the clerk to like, please scan it.
And
I'm going to hold it and then slide it in. So the entire process was tedious. And I'm sure that somebody wanted to whip my ass for it because I was just being completely obnoxious about it. I get it home.
No, this was super important. Damn it.
It was a super important to me. It was 83. I was like, what? 11? It was like my world. My world was finding this magazine.
Yeah.
So
Oh my gosh. Same. Yeah. I remember from the ages of about, I don't know, 10 to 14. This was it. This is what I did.
This was my world. So I get home.
Yeah. That and Star Trek Communicator.
You know,
they knew to make sure that there was a copy set aside for me because I would buy it every time. Oh yeah. And they did. Yeah. If they sold out fast, they made sure they had a copy because I'd be in there Friday night every time.
So I get this magazine home.
Yeah.
And my dad's there. It was a Saturday. And he takes the magazine and he falls.
Are you kidding?
And you can see there's that dent, that full dent from the middle finger. And
no!
I go, Dad, it's like you were bending my magazine. And it's like, and with whose money did you buy this magazine? I'm like, well played.
Damn it, parents.
Well played.
Yeah, he owned you there.
Yeah, it's like it goes as far as I'm concerned, this is my magazine.
Oh my God.
I'm like, oh,
still harsh.
Heartbroken.
Yeah. Now that said, I did my own share of folding, just from reading certain things so many times over and over. Did you ever have the Star Trek 25th anniversary special magazine?
Would that be the silver covered magazine?
Yes.
Of course.
Had every recap of the original series episodes plus the first 2 seasons of Next Gen.
Mm-hmm.
And then a preview of Star Trek 6.
That was 1991. Yeah.
Yep. I remember doing chores at my grandma's house to earn money to buy that thing. And oh my God, I read it cover to cover over and over again. I loved that thing.
What happened to it?
It might still be in my parents' attic.
Oh, okay.
I have a bunch of Star Trek paraphernalia that I had from my teen years that I just haven't ever gotten from there. I hope it's still okay.
Can you imagine the treasure you're going to walk into like one day when you just decide to clean that out?
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know why I haven't done that. Now it's distance. You know, when we go out to visit my family in Wyoming, we fly, so there's no room for luggage, and it's not going to go anywhere. But I do hope it's okay.
Is there one thing, like one collectible, and this is for everybody out there, like one collectible that you just have carried and protected and kind of like cherished like year after year after year? Like you would rather see, you would rather lose a limb than lose this collectible?
That you actually have, not one that you would want.
Right,
correct?
That you actually have. It's like you didn't go back on eBay and rebuy it or whatever like that. It's like it's something that stayed with you like ever since the day that you bought it, and it's in as good of a condition as you possibly could have kept it.
Do you have one, Norm?
I do.
What is it?
It is my official collector's magazine of Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yep, all the way back from 1982. Yeah, I'll post pictures of that. I'll share pictures of that, but
nice. Please.
Untouched. Not untouched. I mean, it does have shelfware because I have read it.
And also, version, how old is it?
Oh gosh, well,
30-something years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that. Well, I mean, I have that. Search for Spock, Voyage Home, Final Frontier, Undiscovered Country, and Generations, because I think that's when they were still making like these special collector's edition magazines. That was my jam. Like all those magazines, because they had this is like before the internet, and I think a lot of people that are listening, like we are all of before the internet. That was the only way that you can get like official, like collectors behind the scenes imagery. Like the first time I ever saw like Princess Leia in the iron bikini was in that Return of the Jedi special collector's edition magazine.
Yeah, no, you're right. A lot of us went to that stuff because it was the only source of any kind of behind the scenes stuff to get those rare photos and to get the special write-ups and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was way before, internet, anything. And it was a lot more, for lack of a better word, there was a lot more gatekeeping where the powers that be were much more controlling about what got released and what didn't.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So that's all we got, guys. And so we cherished it.
What about you? Or unless it's in your parents' attic.
Gosh. I'm trying to think now. There's a lot there. There's a lot of old TV guides featuring Star Trek write-ups. There's the 25th anniversary that I mentioned. There's maybe I don't know if it's this one or not, but I adored this one. It was a TV Guide special collector's edition with all 4 captains on the cover.
Oh yeah.
And there particular. This was when Voyager was new, and I was thoroughly in love with Voyager, and I still am. Let's be honest. But they had a great interview with Kate Mulgrew, and I dissected every letter of that thing to try and get to know who she was.
Okay.
My 13-year-old self was infatuated. Let's be honest.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I learned a lot. It was great, but there was also a whole bunch of other stuff in there too. They had an interview with Dee Kelly. They had a thing with James Doohan and his love for trains. There was a thing with Nichelle Nichols. There was all sorts of stuff in that thing. It was jam-packed, and I haven't looked at it in a long time. It probably is in the parents' attic. I know I have another copy in my bedroom. I have a keepsake of Star Trek memorabilia where I've got multiple copies of these things where like I've traded back and forth with people for various things, and I have more than what I need now. And it's just so good. And it's 26, 27 years old now.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, it kind of disgusts me that it's that old, but here we are.
You know what? If in fact the Star Trek convention is on in August, which I hope it is. Because it is 25th anniversary of Voyager. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if there is still a convention, I do want to go for that very reason. Oh, and I want to say goodbye to Sabriel if she's still here. Very nice of you to join us. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And Earl Green, the Starlog movie mags. Yes, them too. I was so jealous of anybody who could get the back issues because they were so expensive. They were something like $19.95 a piece, maybe. And my 10-year-old self could not afford that. But they always had those advertisements in the Star Trek magazines. And I wanted to get them, and I couldn't. I couldn't afford them.
Yeah, those were sought after, high priced.
They were because they were back issues, and so they didn't have many of them. What were we saying?
So collectibles. So Earl says my favorite B5 item was a screen used season 1 Universe Today newspaper. They sent one to each of the TV stations carrying the show, and that's where I worked at the time. I believe that Earl, correct me if I'm mistaken, but Earl worked for a television station where he was sent a ton of marketing materials for local promotion for Babylon 5 on his local network. Like
press kit stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you lucky bastard. Yeah, I'm so envious. That's so cool.
Yeah, he has a treasure trove of stuff. He and I we're discussing how to best relieve him of said goods.
In other words, buying him out of the lot.
Well, he has stuff there that's really interesting. I like it because it's local, right? It's
that's super cool.
And it's from a time where you can you had to ad strip and copy of promo writer producer, so no synopsis, 8x10 slides, the works. But yeah, you could strip in like graphics, like on acetate overlays, and then you would have them photostated onto your local paper or to the local TV guide or whatever.
That's super cool. I used to work in media, but not back then. But I'm intrigued.
The cats are protecting it too. He has an army of cats protecting it.
As you should, Earl. As you should. No one better.
Earth creatures covered with feathers go quack. Cats. Yes,
cats.
Cats. Yes, getting nibbled to death by cats.
That's right.
So what are you watching now? What are you watching to get you through the
apocalypse?
The apocalypse, yeah.
Well, this is a great opportunity for me right now to get back on track with some David Tennant era Doctor Who.
Back on track?
Yes, because I watched, I think I'm on the 11th season right now, and I'm a few episodes in, and then the newest season with the 13th Doctor aired, watched all that. That's done now. And so I want to get back, and I've got to get to know Martha better. I know, and I love her, and I can't wait because I'm loving the Tennant era, so I'm excited to get back to that.
You haven't seen the end of that season?
No, don't tell me anything. Shush.
Oh my God.
Stop. Okay. I'll find out soon enough. But then also, you hooked me up with Andromeda.
Did.
Yes. So I have an opportunity to watch some Andromeda now.
Andromeda is so good. I mean, I personally, I think it's like where Gene Roddenberry wanted Star Trek to go, in a way. And also, so I don't want to. I was actually kind of like thinking like every once in a while we would like pop in some Andromeda reviews here.
Would that be too far off brand? Maybe we take a poll just because sometimes people don't appreciate cross-pollination.
Yeah, well, we would like advertise it, obviously,
sure.
But as being, I wanted to kind of like embrace the Zocalo of being what it is, and it's kind of like this
a grand
like
market.
Yeah, exactly, a grand marketplace.
Maybe we make it a mini-sode of sorts. I mean, with my work schedule being kind of up in the air, I'm hoping I'll have a little more time in the evenings. Maybe we could do a little more broadcasting. I don't know. We'll see. Let's talk about it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we'll see kind of how things pan out this week, and then I'll kind of have an idea of where things might be headed.
Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of the season. I finished up season 1 again. I watched it when it originally came out, but I haven't watched it since.
Of Andromeda?
Of Andromeda. And there's a lot going on there that I really, really like. Earl Green says, I really love season 1 of Andromeda, especially maybe it's the Lifeson theme. Maybe it's Robert Hewitt Wolf as the showrunner, who was a writer on Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, familiar name.
But I love that first year especially. I agree, Earl. I really love season 1 of Andromeda. Don't spoil anything because Shar hasn't watched it all. As you can see,
yes, please.
I too am a Rush fan. And I do miss Alex Lifeson's March of the High Guard as well, because I love how that sounds. Andromeda, I love the beginning. I don't know. I don't know if I'm a subscriber of the jumping the shark motif. I think that there's certain things that just kind of morph, but I'm not sure if jumping the shark is a thing that I believe in.
Are you saying that generally speaking, or for Andromeda specifically?
Generally speaking, I know that like now, we all know the jumping the shark reference, where that comes from, right?
I would think so. If not, you can Google it pretty easily.
Right. So I guess that really depends on like what story you expect them to tell and what story that is being told, that you can just mine the just mine the positive aspects of, in a way.
Yeah. Because appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I think every season has a I guess a shift in tone. Right, in a way.
Okay.
Or every series has a shift in tone in a way, for better or worse.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I see a bunny, by the way.
You do?
Yeah, in the background, there's a bunny.
Oh, that's Buffy.
Hi, Buffy.
Yeah.
Buffy the bunny. God dang, they're cute.
They are.
Yeah. Aw.
Yeah, see, not to discount what you're saying, Mauricio. I mean, I know that there are a lot of people that believe that jumping the shark is what happens to shows, but I think Earl and I are a little bit more on the same page when Earl says, rather than jumping the shark, I just feel like any given show went in a different direction than I would have. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna move my camera so you can see the bunnies. Okay.
All right.
So bear with the cameras.
Hello. Hi, bunnies. Oh, hello.
Let me see if I can get them a little closer. I don't know how long this cord's going to stretch.
Hello. I see your face.
This is something that happens. This is something that happens when I give them treats. So this is very Pavlovian.
All right, let's do that. Oh, hello. Oh my God. You're so cute. Hello. Sorry, guys. I'm a complete sucker for animals, by the way.
I have to pay up with treats. So
hell yeah. Give them some treats.
So they both assume this position.
They're just little beggars, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah, they're ready. They know. Oh my God. Give me the food. Gimme.
And that's it. That's all I'm good for. That's
oh my God. Well, that's kind of how it feels sometimes, right? Where it's just like, oh, that's all you wanted was food. Cool.
Yep. This is my
They
lot.
got what they wanted. They're happy.
Yep.
Yep. Fork over the yums, human.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it.
Yep. So
yeah,
they're my life.
It's a good thing they're cute.
Yeah.
But they so are, and they're both fully grown now, aren't they?
They're about as fully grown as they're gonna get.
Yeah.
You know, they'll probably grow a little bit wider. But yeah.
Just like all of us.
Yeah. Let's see. I had so we got Pippin first. Pippin's on the camera left. If you can see her as camera left, she's the brown and white. Carol and I saved her from basically from an adoption agency. Well, they're both adopted, but from different agencies, and we're working on bonding them, which is why they're in separate cages, because bunnies become very territorial, and they get along. They don't like charge each other on the cages, but they will eventually have one cage and they will snuggles together.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait until they're fully bonded and they're just doing that constantly, and then we get to see it. Yeah. You're cute little shits.
They're cute little shits.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see why you love them so much. I would show you my cats, but they're not in here right now. I shut them out. I can tell you where they are too. They are right outside the door.
But it's these things. These things, they're
munchies.
They're just rose hip.
They look like little donuts.
Like giant, like Apple Jacks.
Aw.
But every time they hear something, I'll tear open like a granola bar for myself, and both of them, whatever they're doing, they'll like be in the middle of eating something else and like run over and say like, "Okay, human,
hey, what you got?
Feed me, Seymour."
That's how my cats react anytime we open up a can of anything. It doesn't matter what it is.
What if it was a can of whoop ass?
Even so, it would get their attention, and then they'd pay for it. But they'd be like, "Oh, it's a can. It must be for us." No, kitties, it's not. Not this time.
Do they like when you crack open the can with the vacuum seal going?
That's what they know. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Again, that Pavlovian response.
Yep, just like Dwight.
Just like,
and the Altoids. Yeah. So going back to like what we were watching, you're a fan of The Office, right?
I love The Office. And if you guys aren't listening to the Office Ladies podcast with Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsey, definitely get on that, because I'm learning so many cool behind the scenes things that they're sharing on that podcast that you can't get from any other Office show. So if you like The Office, I highly recommend.
It's so funny hearing the slight twang in Angela's voice. It's there.
It comes out sometimes.
Right? And now I'm hearing it. I'm hearing it as I rewatch the series.
Oh, are you rewatching? Nice.
Yeah. So here's what I usually do when things like this happen, or when, like, say, Carol's on vacation and I'm batching it up. Right. So I'll be grinding out levels in any game that I play, where it's like World of Warcraft or Diablo or any video game. This is why I don't read. Right. Because
you're busy playing games.
Yeah. I can only do so much. My eyes can only do so much.
I mean, we've only got so many hours in the day.
Exactly. But I do multitask. So on the side, I'll have The Office playing in perpetuity, like on repeat. So,
well, that's it's one of those shows where if you've watched it a million times, you know exactly what's happening. So it's really good for that.
And sometimes it's about the dialogue more than it is about the visuals. However, I just finished up the episode where Jim pretended he was bitten by a bat, and Dwight thought he was turning into a vampire. And And I think around the same time there was another episode where oh no, it was the I just finished up the safety training video with where Michael's he was faking committing suicide and he was gonna jump in the bouncy house.
Oh, my life.
Yeah.
Dwight, you ignorant slut.
I know, it's so funny.
And now we just got ourselves an adult rating. Sorry about that.
I'll just have to put it on.
Yeah, well, it's fine. Whatever. I don't think they care.
Surviving Mars for an embarrassingly long time last night.
Is that's a game, right?
I don't think it's an episode of Babylon 5.
No, it's not. But you know what it could be?
Racing Mars.
Like an episode title. I'm like Surviving Mars. I think would be a Garibaldi centric game of Babylon 5.
That's like his autobiography, Surviving Mars.
Ooh, yeah, because he would start off every chapter with like, "I can't believe I'm back on Mars."
Exactly. Right. Very, very noir-ish.
Oh my God. Okay, could somebody please Photoshop that? Make that happen?
I could try. Oh, by the way, this is going to be interesting.
What's that?
Usually
also, we need to close up the show soon. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no, it's okay. Like usually I'm on a Mac at work. Like my Mac is completely streamlined and I have like everything all just decked out. It's top, it's top notch.
Yeah.
But I've kind of like wanted to challenge myself to work off of my PC setup so I didn't have to bring my Mac home. So I have to finally tune. Where am I going with this?
I don't know. Where are you trying to get your Windows skills up to par? Are you trying to make your Windows machine measure up to your superior Mac?
I don't know. I have no idea where I was going with that story. You're supposed to help me.
It's okay, buddy. It's the Brevari and it causes brain farts. Keep drinking.
Somebody help me out there. Why?
This is how we typically do the show.
It'll come to me.
We drink and we have a good time.
We drink and know things.
Yeah, we do.
Or a couple things.
A few.
I have no idea where I was going with that thought.
It's okay. I think the point of your story was that you have a really good Mac at work.
Welcome to your elder years, Norman. This is true. Oh, here's an interesting thing. Here's a thought that I actually can finish. So I was on Warby Parker's site because I don't. Okay, you guys got to see this. This is literally
what's going on. What's going on? Oh my God! Plot twist.
So you see that?
Hello. Oh, so sleepy.
That's called a flop. When
God.
When rabbits do that, they just basically like throw themselves on their backs and then just relax.
What did you give them, Norm?
Nothing.
Did you give them sedatives?
Rabbit flops. Basically, they are like the rabbits. It's their most expressive form of contentment.
Oh, so she's just super happy right now then. Oh, well, that's wonderful. That's good.
Because what they do is that they are bearing their belly, which is because much
security.
Much like any prey animal, their belly is obviously their most exposed area of their body.
Right,
they're most susceptible, to harm. And when they do that, they're basically saying that, okay, I'm completely trusting in this environment. I'm completely safe.
Yeah, just like cats do.
Yeah.
Oh my God, one of my favorite things is when my cat Ro, he will take his whole body weight and just plop on his side, roll over, expose his belly, and do like that, and then just a little bit of a blep. He's such a little dork. I love him so much. He's my goofy boy.
Pictures. Need pictures of that.
Pictures. I can't share any at this very moment, but I'll try to take one the next time this happens.
All right.
Yeah.
So I was saying, where was I?
Well, we got interrupted by the bunnies. You were talking about your computer, the Mac at work.
But after that,
nope.
Somebody help me.
I mean, this is almost gone here. We haven't quite reached Londo levels of drunkenness, but I'm definitely feeling it, and my face is flushed, so we're good. I made a strong one today.
You got this awesome kind of head maneuvery thingy going on. Every time you get a little, you get a little sassy. Sassy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's it go? Oh, no. Okay. So I remember Warby Parker.
Oh, okay.
Because I was looking at the comments, and then BC says, welcome to your elder years, Norman. So I was on Warby Parker's site, and I was like, I'm wondering how they like keep costs down so much. This is my last anecdote. So I'm keeping like how do they keep the cost down? So they go through the website. They have nice frames and all that kind of stuff, but everything like frames and all, from fitting to fixing to sending and all that kind of stuff is $95 flat.
Yeah.
Right. But I sent them my prescription. You have to send them your official prescription from your optometrist. So they come back to me and they said, we realize that you have a plus element of your prescription. So would you like to take a look at the pricing for our multifocal or progressive lenses, i.e. bifocals? I'm like, what? Why don't you just
oh no.
I'm like, why don't you just send me an AARP envelope, you MFers?
Hey, Norm, you're not the only one. When this happened to my mom, she felt awful.
I was like, what? And so it's like, so it goes from $95 to $295 at the start just to get the progressives. Because progressives are basically like, they're the same lenses, but they're just seamless, right? I'm like, look, these are emergency glasses. I use them these are supposed to be my reading glasses. So I feel like Kirk, like,
yeah, right. With the book.
Right. Are those gifts from Dr. McCoy? And they will be again. That's the beauty of it. So,
the paradox of the universe. Am I right?
Yeah. So when they come in, I'm anxious to see my new bifocals. Thank you very much.
Oh, man.
Yep.
All right. Yeah.
Effing focals, Shar.
I'm sure at some point I'm a little, not by much. It won't be long before I catch up. I've been wearing up until I got LASIK, I was wearing contact lenses from the age of 14 to 30, whatever, when I got LASIK. And my vision's been very good since I got LASIK. But over time, your vision can change, obviously. And there are limitations to LASIK where they may or may not be able to update you and keep your vision intact if and when you need it. Right. So in my mid to late 40s, I fully expect to be in the same position as you. Don't feel bad.
And this is why I thought about my whole computer setup thing.
Oh, okay. Do tell. And then we should close the show. We're over time.
Because bringing it all the way back to my Mac is that I have a bigger monitor at home so that I can actually see the copy upon which I am designing, the actual like lettering and such. That's why I brought that up.
All right. And so on your PC, that's not the case.
That's not the case.
Size-wise, what are we looking at?
That's what she said.
God damn it. I fell for that so hard.
What she said. So. There we go.
That's the show, everybody.
Yep. We'll end on that note.
You know that gif of Julia Louis-Dreyfus from Seinfeld where she takes the bottle of vodka, pops it open, and just glug, 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 glug? That's what I was going for.
That was good stuff.
Yeah. All right. Your story.
So that was it, my story. You asked me how.
Oh, okay. There was nothing more.
No.
Nevermore.
No, you gave me my exit out. That was good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Ruined it.
We're here at the Zocalo cast at 7 and 10. Oh my God. Please don't forget to tip your waiters. Please try the veal. So
no, don't do the veal. Ew.
You always push the veal.
No.
Always push the veal.
No, the veal sucks. Don't torture little male cows.
No, the veal does suck, but you got to push it. It gets twice the price of swordfish. Just saying. That's what restaurant people do.
You know what? As a vegetarian, I feel compelled to say, try the Impossible Burger. It's awesome.
Try the fettuccine Alfredo 4 cheese.
Just don't go on a run afterward.
Oh my God, that sounds good.
Fettuccine?
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah. You got the munchies?
I kind of do.
I mean, screw weed. Alcohol also brings out the munchies.
So I know that we're going long, but it's okay.
We do this from time to time. This is not a structured show today, for the record, guys. You can leave anytime you want.
Yeah, and it's not supposed to be. I think everyone's just kind of like, because the reason why we're
all bored. Like, we're all like, what the fuck do we do?
Right. And that's why we're,
Yeah, this is why we're here.
I have a propensity. It's my Filipino DNA. If people can't tell, I'm Asian. I didn't start the virus, by the way.
No, it's not your fault, damn it.
It's not my fault.
No.
But
I hate that shit. Like, go to your Asian markets and support them, for freak's sake.
Yeah, if you need rice, you got to get the right rice.
Dude, and it's so well priced. Come on.
Right? Well-priced rice.
It is.
Right. So I get the cravings for crunchy, salty stuff.
Okay.
And Carol, being the wisest person in our relationship by far, I was gaming and I was prepping for the show, and I was gaming, and she put down in front of me a small bowl of shelled pistachios, because I can't shell. Obviously, I can't shell pistachios when I'm gaming. I need both hands.
No. No.
Right. But that started this whole kind of craving for crunchy, salty. And when I drink, I'm a big fan of kind of like that Asian sesame mix.
Ooh, yeah, that sounds really good right now.
Right?
Yeah.
I would rather eat that than like a regular meal. I just want like a bucket of that right now.
Dude. Hell yeah.
But my blood pressure goes crazy pants McGee.
Oh, I bet with all the salt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here are two things that I love about my blood pressure. It reacts so sensitively to caffeine and salt nowadays.
Damn, getting older sucks.
I told Carol, it's like, it's like, you got to trade me in for a younger, hotter Asian dude.
I don't think she's going to do that.
No, but I wouldn't blame her if she did.
Carol's awesome.
Carol's my significant other of 20 years. If people don't know that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've gotten to meet her once when we got to do lunch.
And you will again when this
someday
is lifted. Yeah,
the fact of the matter is we've tried a couple times to meet up, and then just schedules have gotten messed up, or we've gotten sick, and it's not worked out. And then who knows when we're going to get our quarantine lifted. But someday we will meet again in person.
We will, and it will be
We'll
glorious.
take pics.
And it will be glorious.
It will. It will be glorious. There will be a lot of bravado. There'll be a lot of salty food. Our blood pressure will hate us, but we're going to have a good time.
YOLO. Right?
Yeah. So, Mauricio, I'm glad you're going to come back, because, I mean, this was not the most focused episode. This was just more of a thing of like reestablishing and connecting and talking and just, I don't know, airing our coronavirus
we want to
state of
reach
mind.
out. And we want to reach out. We want to make people that, that just need to hear people talk, and just to be part of that kind of like that water cooler, coffee table conversation, just to know that you're not alone. You can always come in when we're broadcasting and join the party. Even if you want to lurk, that's fine.
Totally. Although we love it when you do comment, because it's a nice thing to play off of.
Right. And I agree, Busey. Don't tell me how to live, stupid blood pressure. I mean, what do you know? All you know are
salt and caffeine. Yeah, that's like kind of how I live. I love my caffeination. I really do. I
had the most ridiculous blood pressure measurement the other day. I was like a little concerned.
Oh dear, how bad?
Yeah. It was, I don't want to say, but
okay.
But the reason why is because I took my measurement. I take my measurement every morning, because my doctor says, you got to show me like data, or else I'm going to put you on medication. I have hypertension in the family. So I took it, and I was like, why did this spike? Because like my morning like my stats were good. My afternoon stats were terrible. It's because the way that I make green tea is F-teated.
Really?
Yes. I obviously didn't read for 8 ounces of water, 1 teaspoon of tea. I think I did for 8 ounces of water, 3 teaspoons of tea.
You know what I call that? Efficiency.
I call that a heart attack almost. I was sweating, and my heart was,
Okay, please don't have a heart attack on us.
Also, it reminded me of this great story. It's like, Carol just said, didn't you do this one time with coffee? It's like, dude, so you remember, Starbucks Via coffee, the coffee that comes in a pouch?
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
I was so tired for whatever reason. I was at work, and a coworker gave me one of those portable Starbucks Via cups. It was like a chamber. It has 6 slots where you can stick or 7 slots, stick Via coffee in there. You turn a chamber, you take off the bottom of the thing, you pull out a thing that's Via, and you stick it in your cup.
Yep.
So I did that. Then I put that underneath a Keurig coffee maker, put my K-cup in, and made coffee on top of my coffee.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hardcore.
I thought my heart was gonna explode.
Dude, have you ever gotten drunk off of caffeine? Where you felt delirious from over-caffeination?
I don't get delirious. But I do. Wait a second. There are waves of euphoria that wash over me when I'm over-caffeinated.
There was one time when I knew I totally overloaded. And I was a barista for many years. I have tested the limits of caffeination. But there was one time where I knew I was just like, okay, you've got to come down now.
Yeah.
And I think it was basically, I don't know how many espresso drinks later, but I was really dehydrated. Let's put it that way. And with caffeine being a diuretic, that's a problem.
Right.
And I did not feel myself in my body.
Yeah, like somewhere along the lines, like somewhere like all the moisture was being sucked. Somewhere.
You're just kind of floating out there in the ether. And all of this happened while I was at work, by the way. So that was an awful feeling.
Yeah.
And then I think, I don't know how much water I drank to try and come back down, but I spent the whole rest of the night, going to and from the bathroom, basically. It was not a good situation. I do not recommend.
So BC says, hardcore tea and hardcore coffee have two apparently. Not by choice. Not by choice. These things.
But it's a lifestyle.
It did happen. I mean, I love coffee and tea. Don't get me wrong. I do.
Me too.
But there's a responsible way of preparing coffee and tea.
Yeah, and I think we've both pushed those limits at some point.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, in my coffee shop days, I remember finals week 2004 was particularly bad. I worked at the coffee shop every day that morning, and it was an early morning, 6 a.m. I would make a pot of coffee for myself. The other 2 were for customers, and by the time I was ready to open for business, I had drank all of mine. And then that became every week, every day that whole week. It was a little hardcore. I was so burnt out. I had to come back down pretty hard from that one too.
Wish.
Yeah, that's when I recognized I had a problem.
Yeah, caffeine can be sometimes.
Sometimes. Now, that said, I did come back down and I was okay and it was fine, but I just realized I can't keep going like that. I was way too stressed out.
Yeah, I mean, caffeine is no joke, when it like takes a toll.
Oh, especially on your central nervous system. Just don't overload it like that. You will pay at some point.
So Earl says here, 1 year a buddy of mine and I did our annual display booth at the local retro gaming convention, Retro Gaming.
Yeah.
Drinks were free, but they were energy drinks, not soft drinks. We were.
Ooh.
Wait, did you make the mistake of that you thought they were soft drinks like Mountain Dew or something? You were wide awake.
And it was Jolt Cola.
I loved Jolt Cola.
Jolt Cola in its day was so amazing. Now it's freaking Monster, and I'm sorry, it's not the same.
No, Jolt Cola actually was tasty.
Exactly. Right? Jolt Cola ruled.
Ooh, Jura espresso machines are nice.
You know what? I have an espresso machine. I make myself a latte every morning.
I have an espresso machine. It's my Keurig at the lowest setting.
I've got a quote unquote real one where I don't use the pods or anything. I actually take the espresso, spoon it into my portafilter, tamp it down, and
wow,
yeah,
fancy
classic
AF.
I gotta go hardcore, seriously. Baby.
Yeah.
I mean, as a barista, I can't help but not. Now, I'm a little disappointed in my steamer. It's really hard to steam the milk to the point where I can froth it and really make some nice latte art. It's just not really up to that task, but it warms up the milk. I've given up.
Oh, excuse the F out of me. All I got, I'm pouring in a couple of, shots of milk in mine. I got Miss Steamer Milk over here.
Hey, look, I mean, I did this professionally for several years.
You take your coffee seriously.
I'm a connoisseur. I'm very picky. Yes. Becoming a barista will make you one of the biggest coffee snobs on the planet. No joke.
You did promise me an amazing cup of coffee.
Did I? Have I?
Yeah.
Oh dear, you've got to come to my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I've got good shit. Yeah.
Right. All right.
Now, I can't promise latte art, but I can make you a good cup of coffie. And latte if I had a really high-class thousands of dollars machine, I could do some really amazing things. But you know what? That's neither here nor there in my house. We're not that fancy.
On that note, Earl says he's doing his best, Garibaldi, and drinking water right now. Just don't hit season 5, Garibaldi. You will be fine.
Yes, please don't hit that route. That's not good for anybody.
All right, sure. I would think we should wrap this one up.
It's time. We are way over our time. Thank you everybody for sticking around and listening to us blather on about all sorts of random things, but that's kind of what this episode was all about.
Yep. We just want to get in touch with everyone and say like, hey, we are here. Chime in, reconnect, stay connected, and make sure that you're all safe out there.
Yeah, and to all of you new faces out there, thank you so much for joining us. It was awesome to get to know you a little bit, and we hope you'll join us next time.
Yeah, so follow us here. Make sure that if you're a new follower, make sure you hit that like and share and subscribe button. Make sure that you hit the bell icon so that you hear when all of our new episodes have been loaded up here on YouTube.
That's right.
Thanks for all of you that are coming in, especially BC Earl, Mauricio, and your friend.
Yeah, Sabriel.
Sabriel. Do we have anyone new? And thanks, Daniel Keller, for coming in.
Absolutely.
I'm sad that we missed Terry Lynn, because Terry Lynn's going to let us know about her experience over the pond at the Babylon 5 convention.
Yeah, she is apparently working on a big write-up from the big convention that happened in Germany before the whole outbreak got crazy out of control. And so we're looking forward to hearing all about that.
We have Ernie that just chimed in. And Ernie, don't worry, after the show's over, everything's going to get posted onto YouTube, so you're going to be able to catch up on all the blathering.
Yep,
BC
you
says,
can watch
thank
it
you,
anytime.
blather. We gave him top-notch blather, which is the best that we can hope for.
Top-notch.
And that's it. So we are here every Sunday, or as many Sundays as we can make, at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That would be 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you live in a different country, you can do your own math. And
please do, because we're Americans and we're just not that good off the top of our heads.
For all of our American friends out there that are locked down because of the COVID-19, COVID, right?
COVID-19.
19.
Yeah, bitch.
If you're locked down, we are here. We are here for you. We'll stay in touch. You be safe out there, and don't do anything heroic like locking yourself in with a bunch of Markhead patients because you think that you can survive it.
Please don't. You know how this ends.
Right. So for that, this lovely woman here has been Shar.
This lovely person has been Norm.
And we will talk to you next time on the Zocalo. So we will be seeing you.
Bye, everybody.